Hello, my name is Jörg and welcome to coachRED.net. In the prior video, we connected the AppGyver app to the Xano backend and listed our to-dos. Now we will create a to-do within AppGyver. We will use a new page to create the to-do. I click on that little white triangle in front of empty page and then say add new page. I call it edit, click OK, and here we have our new page. The title should say new to do, and I don't need the paragraph. What I do want is the input field from the form section, so I drag that one in. The label should say new to do, actually to do, because we also want to use it for updating later. For the value, I need a variable. So let me just introduce a little hack to get around the AppGyver limitation that page parameters only can be of the type text. What I usually do is create an app variable, call that by the page and then pp as an object. Inside the object, I place what I otherwise would use as page parameters. So in this case, it's text of the type text, and we will extend that later. And the ID I can simply remove. Now I can assign the newly created app variable to the value of the input field. Now I drag in a button to place it underneath the input field and call it create new to do. Now to the logic of the button. I haven't created the API endpoint in Xano to create a new to-do. So I first head over to Xano and create the API endpoint. Back to the overview of all APIs and then add API endpoint. Here I want to have a CRUD operation. The database is the to-do database, and I want to have the post, which creates a new record. The name to do is fine, so just save it. And here we have our three sections. Input, we have the text and the done, the add record, and the response. The two inputs were created automatically by Xano. Let's check out the add record. So created as is now, and the text is the input, and the done is the input as well. That looks all fine, so save it. Next, let's try it. So I go on run and debug. Here I have the two input parameters, the text and the done. So the text is just delete to do in AppGyver, and the done is false. So run it and we see everything is successful. The record is created, delete to do in app, done false, perfect. The API endpoint in Xano is created, so back to AppGyver and there into the data section. The data resource to do is already created, so we go into the configuration of the create, the post command. Currently it's not enabled, so we need to enable it first. There are no other parameters to set, so I can go straight into testing, but I need a custom object. I find it back in Xano. Here I go to run and debug, and there is my custom object. So I select it and copy it and paste it here into the formula. For the test, it's just a manual test. I just replace the string delete to do an app with the to do one. So now we save it and run the test. And bingo, everything looks fine. I set the schema from response, very important, and can go back to actually use the create record function. Before doing that, I install a very rudimentary safety net here with the if condition. And in the if condition, I test if my app variable editpp.text is empty. So the formula is empty, and the value is the app variable, my page variable editpp.text. Should the input field be empty, I display a toast, which simply says, please enter to do. And if it's not empty, I create a record, and I create the record to do. To define the custom object, I use the formula, and since I set the schema from the response, I already have the object here. The created add is done by Xano, so I can take that out. The ID is also given by Xano. So all I need is the key done, which is always false, and the key text. And the text is my app variable editpp.text. Perfect. After I created the record, I simply want to navigate back. We are done on the edit page. What remains is to put the plus button onto the main page. So let's head back there. First, we drag in a container right underneath the header. Then we drag the header into the container. Next, I drag an icon into the container. The title the title one should be above the icon. So I have both. Now I style the container and the dimension. Oops, I'm just at the title, the container. The layout of the container should be horizontal. The elements should be as far apart as possible and centered. That looks very good. The icon name should be a plus sign. There, the round one. That's fine. Now to the logic of the plus button. On the component tab event, I want to do two things. One is to set my app variable editpp. It's a custom object, and currently it contains only the text, so that should be an empty text to go in. And the second thing is I want to navigate to an open page, and since I only have the edit page, that comes in here automatically. And that's it. So I save it and go to the preview app. Here I have my to-do list and I have the plus button. So I click on the plus button. Here is my page. I have the header, to-do, the input field and the plus button. I just click back and now I just click create new to-do. There is my toast. Please enter to-do. Now I enter the to-do and press the create new to-do. And here I have a little bit of a time delay. And there it is, my to-do too. So everything works perfect. In the next video, we will learn how to update the to-do text. So see you there.